What's up, guys? We're Lurk, and these are our first concerts. Mine was, I think when I was a kid, I went with my parents to see Joan Jett and Peter Frampton. Yeah. But my first own concert was probably, if I'm not mistaken, it was Ozfest 2006. And I was like there for Ozzy and System of a Down and all like the new metal stuff that was out at that time and whatever. It was crazy. I was like 13 or 14 or something and got dropped off by our parents, and yeah, it was a good time. It was really hot. Before that, like I was into like Ozzy and all that stuff and like the bigger bands, but then like I remember being like blown away by like a stage in the parking lot with like, I don't know, like a Atreyu and like Bleeding Through were playing and like all that kind of stuff, and it like freaked me out. But like that obviously led into, you know, hardcore, punk, metal, all the stuff that I got into after that.
So my first concert with my parents was the Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young reunion tour in 2001, I think, which is pretty sweet. I remember it like vividly. I remember it being just a really cool experience when I was a kid. And my dad is a huge Neil Young fan, so that was kind of, I think he wanted to indoctrinate us all with that stuff. So, and I grew up loving all that kind of stuff too. And then the first one that like I chose was going to see Green Day, like on their American Idiot tour. I think I was 13, and Jimmy Eat World opened, and they were touring on Futures, which is my favorite Jimmy Eat World record. So that was like definitely a hell of a show. I remember that one super well too. Lots of pyrotechnics.
It's a lot cooler than
my first show that I remember going to, it's pretty embarrassing. For some reason, when I was a kid, me and my folks had this weird like Christian rock thing going. Not like Christian rock where I'm talking like Creed. Is Creed like a Christian rock band?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not like I would consider that cool compared to like what we were getting into.
All right, it was Creed.
It was Creed. The band was a guy. It was Stephen Curtis Chapman at McCormick Place in the city. I don't remember what year it was, but there was a radio station in Chicago. I think it was 106.7 The Fish, and they just played like a bunch of like bullshit Christian.
Hell yeah, man.
Objectively, some of the songs are good, but I just can't do it. I can't do it now. But that was it. But the first show, like I remember going to, and it's funny because Kevin was at this show, and we found this out later. It was Rush at Tinley Park. Yeah. I think it was the Tweeter Center at the time. They've changed their name a bunch, but whatever year that was, Snakes and Arrows tour, no opener. Like, I grew up like a big classic rock, you know, Van Halen, Joe Walsh, AC/DC, Rush guy. It's funny because I remember I wanted to go to the tour before that, which was the R30 tour. It was like their retrospective tour where they played like all the hits. But I had a really big fear of loud noises when I was a kid. And I remember my dad asking me, he goes, "Hey, do you want to go to the show?" And I was like freaked out. I'm like, I can't, I'm not ready yet. And I, to this day, regret not going to that show because I've seen the live interview and it's perfect. But luckily I was able to see him a few years later and it was perfect. Alex came out with a gold Les Paul and just went right into limelight and it was perfect. So one of my, and then I've seen Rush every tour consecutively up until they stopped. So a favorite for sure.
Yeah, Rush. Wow. My first show or concert was the B96 Bash in '99. It was like George Lamont, a bunch of like freestyle artists from Chicago played. Like Casey and JoJo were there, I think.
Oh yeah.
And my first show, like by choice, was the Pop Disaster tour. So Blink-182, Green Day, Jimmy Eat World on some of the dates. I got to see them and New Found Glory, and I think Mest played the Chicago date. I think they played outside. Yeah, that pretty much changed my life. Knew I wanted to play drums after I saw that show. Pretty big one.